Hello, English champions. Welcome back to Positive English Journey. I'm Daniel, and I'm absolutely excited to share today's game-changing episode.
And I'm Emma. Today we're going to completely change how you think about making mistakes in English.
That's right, we're talking about mistakes are your secret weapon, growth mindset magic, and this episode will change everything.
This is perfect for everyone who has ever felt embarrassed, frustrated, or upset after making English mistakes.
And here's what's going to surprise you. The students who make the most mistakes actually become the best English speakers.
We're going to prove to you that mistakes aren't your enemy. They're your secret superpower for English success.
No more hiding from conversations. No more feeling bad about errors. Today, you become a mistake champion.
Get ready to fall in love with your English mistakes. Daniel, I have to share my most embarrassing English mistake that changed my entire learning life.
Oh, this should be good. Tell us everything.
I was at an important business dinner in New York, trying to impress my new American colleagues. I wanted to say the chicken was delicious, so I confidently said, the chicken was very pregnant.
Oh no, what did you want to say?
I wanted to say tender, but instead of making everyone think I was smart, the entire table started laughing. I wanted to hide.
That must have been so embarrassing. What happened next?
Here's the magical part. Instead of being embarrassed, my colleagues thought it was cute. They started sharing their own language mistake stories, and we laughed for an hour.
So your mistake actually brought everyone together.
Exactly. And from that night, they always invited me to social events because I made conversations fun and relaxed. My terrible mistake became my greatest advantage.
That's incredible. And I had a similar life-changing moment when I was learning German.
Tell us what happened.
I was so scared of making mistakes that I barely spoke for 6 months. Then one day, I accidentally told my German teacher, I am a pregnant elephant, instead of, I am very hungry.
That's hilarious. How did she react?
She laughed so hard she almost fell off her chair. But then she said something that changed my life. Daniel, that's the first time you've spoken with feeling a personality. Your mistake showed me who you really are.
What a beautiful way to look at it.
From that day, I started making mistakes on purpose. I learned that when I tried to be perfect, I was boring. When I made mistakes, I was human, memorable, and alive.
And now your German is fantastic because you weren't afraid to sound silly.
Exactly. The secret is being perfect kills personality, but mistakes create connection and learning. Let's share our mistake magic system. 5 powerful ways to turn every error into English gold.
Magic Way 1. The celebration switch. Instead of saying, oh no, I made a mistake, start saying, yes, I just learned something new.
This might sound crazy, but every mistake is actually proof that you're being brave enough to try. Most people never make mistakes because they never speak.
Think about babies learning to walk. They fall down hundreds of times, but do they get embarrassed? No. They laugh and try again because falling means they're growing.
Here's the science behind this. When you celebrate mistakes, your brain makes good feelings that actually help your memory and learning speed.
So instead of feeling bad when you say, I go to the store yesterday, celebrate that you're brave enough to use past tense. Then learn, I went to the store yesterday, and move on with joy.
Let's practice the celebration switch right now. Emma, make a grammar mistake on purpose.
Yesterday, I've eaten a delicious pizza. Hooray! I just learned that past tense uses ate, not have eat. I'm so proud of myself for trying.
Perfect. See how different that feels? You're not a failure, you're a discoverer.
Magic Way 2, the Error Journal. This is going to change your entire learning experience.
Get a beautiful notebook and call it your growth journal or discovery diary. Every time you make a mistake, write it down with excitement.
But here's the special part. Don't just write the mistake. Write why it's awesome that you made it.
For example, today I said, I am agree instead of I agree. This is fantastic because now I know that agree doesn't need am. I was brave enough to share my opinion in English.
Or, I said through wrong in my presentation. Excellent. Now I know the correct way to say it, and my colleagues helped me learn.
The magic happens when you read this journal every week. You'll see that every mistake helped you learn and that you're constantly growing.
One of my students started an error journal, and after 3 months, she said, I can't wait to make new mistakes because each one makes me smarter.
Magic Way 3, mistake reframing. Change how you see every error.
Instead of I'm bad at English, think I'm learning English and learning needs mistakes.
Instead of I always mess up, think I'm always finding new ways to improve.
Instead of people will judge me, think people will see my courage and help me grow.
Let's practice changing our thinking together. Old thought, I made so many pronunciation mistakes in that meeting.
New thought. I was brave enough to speak in a meeting in my second language. Each time I tried to pronounce words, it helped me improve, and my colleagues saw how hard I'm working.
Old thought, I'll never remember all these grammar rules.
New thought. Grammar rules take time to become automatic. Every mistake I make today is building my future fluency.
Magic Way 4, the mistake story method. Turn your errors into fun stories.
This is so powerful. Instead of hiding your mistakes, share them as funny stories that make people smile.
For example, instead of feeling embarrassed about saying, I am exciting, instead of I am excited, turn it into a story. Let me tell you about the day I accidentally told everyone I was an exciting person instead of feeling excited.
People love these stories because they can relate to them. Plus, telling the story helps you remember the correct way forever.
I have a student who became famous in his office for his English adventure stories. People would ask him, what did you discover in English this week? And he'd share his latest mistakes.
His colleagues started sharing their own language learning stories, and it created this amazing, helpful environment where everyone felt safe to try new things.
Magic Way 5, the growth mindset mantra. Create powerful phrases that change your brain for success.
Choose one of these mantras and repeat it every time you make a mistake.
Every mistake makes me stronger. I'm not failing, I'm learning. My errors show my courage.
Perfect speakers were once beginners who made thousands of mistakes. I'm building my English muscles one mistake at a time.
Or create your own personal mantra. The key is saying it with passion and belief every single time.
Let's see how these ways work in real situations. Imagine you're ordering food at a restaurant and you say, I want chicken with potatoes, please. But you say chicken like kitchen.
Old reaction. Oh no, I'm so embarrassed. The waiter thinks I'm stupid.
New reaction with mistake magic. Celebration switch. Yes. I just learned that chicken and kitchen sound different. Error journal moment. I was brave enough to order in English and learned about pronunciation. Reframing. This waiter has probably heard every pronunciation mistake possible and appreciates my effort.
Mistake story. Tomorrow I'll tell my friends about the time I accidentally ordered a kitchen for dinner. Growth mindset. Mantra, every pronunciation attempt makes me stronger.
See how the same situation becomes completely different? You go from embarrassed to empowered.
Let's try another example. You're in a job interview and you say, I have many experiences instead of I have much experience.
Mistake magic in action. Celebration switch. Fantastic. I just learned the difference between much and many. This interview is a learning place.
Error journal entry. I talked about my qualifications confidently in English and learned a grammar pattern. Reframing. The interviewer sees my English skills are strong enough for professional communication.
Mistake story potential. I'll remember this moment as the day I learned, much less many, in the most important conversation of my career. Growth mindset. Mantra. I'm not perfect. I'm progressing.
Now let's talk about how to start. Begin with one way for 1 week before adding others.
I recommend starting with the celebration switch. Just change oh no to yes for every mistake you make.
Important things to remember. First, don't fake excitement. Really feel proud of yourself for trying. Second, don't compare your mistakes to other successes. Compare your progress to your past self.
Third, don't expect to love mistakes immediately. Like any new habit, this takes practice. And finally, don't use this as an excuse to avoid improving. Celebrate mistakes and learn from them.
Remember, the goal isn't to make more mistakes. It's to fear them less and learn from them more. Let's understand today's important words.
We talked about growth mindset. This simply means believing you can get better at things when you practice and work hard.
It's like thinking of your brain as a muscle that gets stronger when you exercise it with challenges and mistakes.
We mentioned reframing. Reframing means looking at the same situation in a different, more helpful way.
Like changing the frame around a picture, the picture stays the same, but how you see it changes completely.
We use the word resilience. Resilience means bouncing back from difficulties and becoming stronger.
Think of a rubber ball. When you drop it, it doesn't stay down, it bounces back up. That's resilience.
We talked about step-by-step learning. This means getting better little by little, one step at a time.
Like climbing stairs, you don't jump to the top. You take one step at a time until you reach your goal.
And we mentioned that your brain can change and create new connections at any age.
Your brain is like a garden. Every time you learn from a mistake, you're planting new pathways that make you smarter.
Time for your mistake magic mission.
This week, start your own error journal. Get a notebook or use your phone. It's whatever feels good to you.
Every day, write down one English mistake you made and celebrate it. Write why you're proud of yourself for trying and what you learned.
If you don't make any mistakes, that means you're being too safe. Challenge yourself to try one new word, phrase, or grammar structure each day.
Practice the celebration switch. Every time you catch yourself making a mistake, immediately say, "Yes, I'm learning," out loud.
Share your favorite mistake story in the comments. Tell us about a time when an English mistake led to something positive or funny.
Extra challenge. Tell one English mistake story to a friend or family member this week. Practice turning your errors into entertaining experiences.
Remember, we want to celebrate your courage, not perfect your English. Every mistake you make is proof that you're being brave.
Before we finish today, remember this life-changing truth. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are made better by them.
As the saying goes, a ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. Your English voice is built for communication, not perfection.
Every mistake you make shows that you're sailing toward your dreams instead of staying safe in the harbor of silence.
Next week, we'll build on this fearless foundation with the science of perfect practice, quality over quantity. Because now that you're not afraid of mistakes, we'll show you how to learn faster than ever.
Until then, go out there and make some beautiful mistakes. Each one is a gift to your future fluent self.
Remember, the most successful English speakers aren't the ones who never made mistakes. They're the ones who made the most mistakes and learned from every single one.
Every error is a stepping stone to excellence, and we're cheering for every brave step you take.
See you next time on Positive English Journey.